Hey everybody, it's James with PC Gamer here, and we got some new footage of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now I got to play about 4 hours of the game, from the beginning to the first big opening area in Prague and into this Golem mission where all of the footage comes from.
Coming up on it now. Not many spots I can set her down. You got a preference?
Get as close to the ground as you can. I'll take it from there.
Whatever you say, boss.
This is just going to be some footage of the systems, the world, kind of how a mission flow works, combat options, and just brief thoughts on that. The story, well, I'm not going to go into detail on the story. Just know that a domestic terror attack happens. This takes place after Human Revolution. Adam Jensen is traumatized and has a lot more motive to take action this go around. Augmented folks, androids, so to speak, are being cordoned off from regular people, and it's a bit of a human rights metaphor. I don't know if it's being handled super well yet. We'll see. Or it's using like a well-known social issue as just a framework for a story. I hope they do something interesting with it. We'll see. I don't want it just to be a lazy backdrop for shooty fun time and sneaky stealth time. Here you can see one of the hub areas. These areas seem to be a lot bigger than normal. It's kind of one of these more open areas that you saw in Human Revolution. Now they're packed with a lot more NPCs. There's a lot more physics objects, like I said. There's a lot more little nooks and crannies to explore. A ton of side quests, and a lot of detail in the clutter. And I really like this sort of, I won't say grounded cyberpunk look, but it's a good looking slum. It's a good looking slum. Here's the conversation system. It works, you know, as you'd expect from most conversation systems these days. Some guy in the back looking in. You have this alignment analysis, and if you pay attention to how it flashes, and if you have like augmentations that help you out with that, you can sort of steer conversations towards a best result. You can, you know, manipulate people, you can sympathize with them, and sort of, you know, gain their trust if you pay attention to that and choose options that, you know, suit their personality type.
What happened?
This go around, Jensen seems to be a more interesting character. I'm hoping they do something a la, you know, Geralt from The Witcher and make a gruff, sort of boring video game character, a second-rate Keanu Reeves, into someone with dimension. It remains to be seen how far that goes, but already in the first 4 hours, you get some downtime with Adam, and you get to see him, you know, sort of take action as opposed to just in the last game was sort of ordered around and told what to do. I played on the PC version. It's being done by an outside studio. I will say there was an alarming amount of stutter during my playtime. They disclosed the fact that there's plenty of stuff to finish up, bugs to wrap up. Well, I'll withhold my judgment until it's finally out.
Have it your way.
Here's one way to solve the problem. It's not my playstyle, but you know, in this game, you can definitely be stealthy, violent. You can be loud and violent. You can be quiet and non-violent. You can be any combination of those.
How about you deal with these cops first, okay? Then we can talk.
Now, the cover system, I really didn't like it on the PC. It feels a bit stilted, and I don't like being pulled out of first person. While you're in first person, movement's so much more fluid and simple on a keyboard and mouse. So kind of snapping into cover, pulling out of that perspective, and then pointing and, you know, hitting a button to dash to cover. It just feels like more of a console consideration than a PC consideration. That said, you don't have to play in cover, but some of the movement benefits are, you know, cut out, and you can't see and peek over cover in the same way while you're in first person. I do think enemy AI is a little uninteresting at this point. They patrol, they have vision cones, and if you set off an alarm, they search for you. It doesn't seem to be changed that much. Again, this is very early in the game, so I'm hoping there's some different kinds of enemy types that, you know, make you think on your feet a bit. You're really rewarded for exploring environments thoroughly. One way to solve problems in Deus Ex is to use your hacking abilities, and there are all sorts of tools that can aid you in your hacking, and it's interesting to see all of them, and there's a lot to wrap your head around, which kind of bodes well for the game. I'm happy to see layers of complexity, or at least the implication that there's going to be layers of complexity to the hacking, and not just a simple minigame with boosters. This Dullard's gonna walk by, and a takedown commences. Again, I don't like these takedowns. They're really jarring. They pull you out of first person, and you know, commence an animation. It takes about a second or two to play out. I think Doom ruined me because its melee animations are so fluid and keep you in the action and keep you alert and focused. And in these, it really pulls you out. If I had the time at this demo event, I definitely would have just spent it exploring these more open environments because they're just the most interesting part. I love soaking in the story through picking up, you know, hacking computers and reading emails and overhearing conversations, and the environments offer a lot more detail than before, so you can kind of just read the story if you like. Here we're going to see some aggressive gameplay, which is not my style. I went through the demo undetected and non-violent, which was a lot of fun. That's how I like to play. I like to hack and sneak and, you know, really role play a sympathetic person who's not going to want to kill every person he comes across. Which kind of brings me to the gunplay. It's definitely improved this time around. As you can see, you can customize your weapons pretty heavily, and it's pretty easy to do. I still don't know what aggressive gameplay adds to, you know, as a first approach. I don't think aggressive gameplay or an aggressive approach is the way to start. You know, inevitably I'm going to be seen, and I like it as a last-ditch effort to get out of dodge and assert my situation and heavily consider. And you know, the cover system makes it a little better this time, but the enemy AI again, it just doesn't really seem to be that interesting when it comes to gunplay. They'll hide behind cover and kind of overwhelm you in numbers time to time, but it's a little too basic. If that's your jam though, you know, you can go through and play that way. I just don't believe it's a fun way to play this game when there's so much else to do. Alright, and that's, you know, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. It's looking really good. Overall, it's an expansion of the ideas you saw in Human Revolution. It's prettier, more to do in each environment. There are more options available in terms of how you play and in terms of stuff you can exploit in your relationships with people and hacking and all of that jazz. It's still around, it's still here, and there are more options down each avenue. But overall, I had a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing if it differentiates itself enough from the last game, if it's just the same but with more options. I think it's going to be a pretty great game for people who like the last one. There was a ton of side quests and stuff in the Prague area that I just wanted to explore and keep doing and see how those played out, but here Golem gives a small slice of that. It's looking good. It's coming out August 23rd. We'll have our review up that day for sure. In the meantime, check out our written preview at pcgamer.com, and thanks for watching.